wellness specialist, Kimberly Lou, and welcome to my personal freedom program, a complete guide to eliminate destructive patterns and unlock the ultimate you. Now, this week we're going to be talking about adrenal fatigue. Some are asking, well, is adrenal fatigue real? And some might be asking, what is adrenal fatigue? Well, adrenal fatigue is, it's kind of like, have you ever noticed like somebody with dark circles underneath their eyes? Maybe their face is a little pale, or they stand up too quick, they get dizzy. They might even have like a wider waist. It's for quick energy. I'll explain more of that later in the video. Well, and then you could even get 8 hours of sleep and you're still feeling tired. And the things that used to interest you, they just don't interest you anymore. Your body's burnt out. And so what happens is when we get into that state, let's just say, I'm going to use an example of a deer because we're kind of like animals, right? So let's just imagine that there's a deer in the woods and he's hanging out with the deer family, eating some grass, not smoking grass, he's eating grass. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just a stupid joke. Anyway, so he's eating grass, he's in the woods, and all of a sudden he hears a wolf. A pack of wolves are in it. He determines, oh my goodness, there's a predator there. The only thing that deer can think of is predator, where am I going, and how much time do I have to get there? So what happens is he sees the threat and his body starts to develop some chemical changes. He starts to get an adrenaline rush. What happens is the adrenaline rush comes in, it shuts off the immune system, shuts off your cognitive to your brain. It's harder to think, you get a little cloudy. It also shuts off your digestive system and it turns your muscles off. So a lot of times people try to go work out in the gym and they think they're weak, but really they're not weak. Their muscles are just turned off because they're already burnt out. The last thing they need is a kick your butt program. But back to the deer. Okay, so the deer, all it can think about is that all systems shut down except for blood is being shoved into the arms and into the legs to get that deer to run, fight, or freeze. So that's what happens when we create adrenal fatigue. And us humans, we're in that chronic state all the time. We're in these fast-paced lifestyles. We don't know how to slow down, especially with the internet and online. It's like everything is moving at such a fast rate that hardly people can't even keep up anymore. And their bodies are starting to break down. They're starting to get cancers. They're starting to get autoimmune disorders, digestive disorders. And it's just the list goes on and on and on. So what I want to help you do is I want to give you 3 things so that we can help you eliminate adrenal fatigue. And in this rest of this 90-day program, you're going to have tips to create this 90 days to new you. But this week, we're going to give you 3 simple steps on how to eliminate adrenal fatigue. And then we're going to help you keep it going for the rest of the 90-day program. But for now, I want you to ask yourself, like, do you go to bed tired and then you wake up, even if you have 8 hours of sleep, do you still feel tired? Do you have dark circles under your eyes? Do you have that, is your face starting to get pale? And a lot of times what's happening is the blood is rushing into the legs, it's not circulating through your body. So you're not feeling as vibrant as you once were. So we want to show you simple steps. But first I want to tell you, like, who suffers from adrenal fatigue? Now, I feel like just about every person in this population does, but let's take a typical working mom. You know, she wakes up, she has to get the kids ready, she's got to get everything prepared for the day. She's lucky if she gets the kids out fed. Usually the kids are eating in the car and they're fighting. It's like a struggle just to get everyone out the door in the morning. And then finally, everybody's in the car. She's frustrated, kids are angry. And now we're going to school, kids are fighting with each other. So then we get in, we drop them off. Oh, heaven forbid the drop off at carpool for all these poor moms. So anyway, so you're driving through, and can you tell I'm talking about my own personal experience? But this is just I am you. Okay, that being said, you get down, you get to work, it's 9 o'clock, you're already exhausted. As a matter of fact, you woke up exhausted, and now you have this mound of work that you have to do, and it's the amount of work for probably a team, but it's something that you have to do, only you can do. So you roll up your sleeves and say, okay, I got this, I'm gonna do it. You probably are grabbing coffee because you probably didn't even have a chance to eat yet. right? And so it's like, oh my God, let me just grab some coffee and get some quick energy, because the more you try to get that energy, we start to go for, a lot of times when we have adrenal fatigue, we go for the thing that is not the best for us, like carbs and caffeine. But these are the things that also break down our immune system and break down those adrenals. So that being said, you're at work, you roll up your sleeves, you're getting everything done, and the day is over. Hallelujah. The day is over. Okay, but now I gotta go pick up the kids. So I go and I pick up the kids, and I've got to do homework with them. I've got to make dinner. I've got to get them all to bed, make sure that they have baths and all their emotional needs are met. So finally, kids are in bed again. Hallelujah. I'm lucky if I get 30 minutes of TV, and then I go into bed and I lay my head down on my beautiful, beautiful pillow. And I love this pillow, and I thank God for this pillow every day. And I'm starting to drift off into dreamland, and then all of a sudden I feel a little hand on my shoulder, and it's the partner, and he's initiating intimacy. And you're thinking, hell no. You look over there and you think, you give him a glare, and he gets angry because he doesn't understand why you're rejecting him. It's not him you're rejecting. You're just exhausted from your day. Don't flip and touch me. Anyway, so this is when I'm talking to my housewives and the house moms, especially working ones. This is what they tend to talk about all the time. Okay, so that is adrenal fatigue in a nutshell. So how do you heal adrenal fatigue? And the answer is self-care. But think about it. I had a client come up to me once and she said, Kim, I have the resources to go get massages or to do self-care, but I just don't. How come? But think about it. If that deer is being chased by a wolf, do you think that deer is going to stop and want to get a massage? Hell no. It's not going to want to get a massage. Do you think it's going to stop and have meaningful conversations with the deer family and eat a big steak dinner and be able to even digest that meal? No, again. That deer is thinking, predator, where am I going? How much time do I have to get there? Me. That's it. So the last thing that a human or any kind of animal that's in that fight or flight, the last thing it's going to want to do is do self-care. So a lot of times when I'm working with cognitive disabilities like schizophrenia and my clients are having hallucinations, nothing I tell them is going to get them out of them. I've got to physically move their body and get them open. So one thing you can do to get yourself out of that anxiety, out of that fight or flight mode, is lay down and put your feet up. Okay, so you lay down on the floor, put your feet up, and what that does is it forces the blood to come back into your heart, and it starts to circulate, so the blood can't get into your legs to create that whole thing. So you lay down, put your feet up, and that'll help you calm your heart rate down, and the body will start to follow, then the mind will follow after the body. Step 2 on how to heal adrenal fatigue. Now, the body, I've already said it a little bit earlier, the body craves exactly what it should not have when it has adrenal fatigue. So a lot of times we're going for energy because we're burnt out. We're going for the sugars. So what we want to do is we want to eat protein, a little bit of protein, a little bit more fats, so that we can eliminate some of those sugar cravings. Now, we want to eat our proteins first, our fats second, and then our carbohydrates. And when we're eating carbohydrates, we want to stay away from simple carbohydrates. We want to eat foods like, a little bit of grains, not too many, but maybe like an oatmeal or a brown rice. If you're going to eat carbs, those digest better and more slowly into the body, have a slower release. Also, like yams, adrenals like better. But also the adrenals like really, really dark colored foods. Like if you're going to have rice, have dark black rice or brown or black quinoa. You can also have berries like blueberries or green leaves like kale, things like this, collard greens. The body really loves these dark foods and allows it to nourish. These are all very nurturing foods. Again, eat your proteins first, your fats second, and the fats you want to eat are like coconut oils, The body loves grass-fed ghee, which is butter, but not any butter, it's ghee butter. Also, it's like olive oils are great too, avocados, body loves these. And remember, fat is an emulsifier. What it does is it draws in nutrients for the body and allows the body to absorb nutrients. Because a lot of times when we're in adrenal fatigue, we're not going to absorb those vitamins. That's why a lot of people who are burnt out develop vitamin D, B deficiencies, and D as well. That's why a lot of times people with adrenal fatigue develop autoimmune disorders and they have a hard time absorbing nutrients. So you want to get those fats, avocados, coconut oils, olive oils, and even ghee butter that helps emulsify, draws in the nutrients. And again, dark colored green vegetables, all very good. And step 3, you want to make sure that your workouts aren't kick your butt. The last thing you need is a kick your butt program, because what's happening is you're already burnt out. You're going to knock your immune system out. You're going to knock everything out. So what we want to do is slow the body down. We want to slow down to go fast. It's one of my catchphrases. I say this all the time. And when you're in adrenal fatigue, adrenals love long durations of moderate cardio, which means you're going to keep your heart rate, depending on your age, between 120 and 140. So if you're on your treadmill, you want to hold on to the things there. Everybody always tells me not to hold on. I always hold on because I want to know my heart rate. Or you can get a heart rate monitor and you can do 120 to 140 for 45 minutes to an hour, but just keep it moderate. When you do this, it kind of builds back up. But again, you want slow movement. And then also when you're doing your workouts, when you're lifting weights, you want to go slow and then just kind of do it in a more nurturing way. Maybe you might want to do some yogas. Now, I love yoga when it's one-on-one. I do not like yoga in classes. People get injured all of the time. So I say if you're going to do a yoga class, then do a restorative yoga or a yin vinyasana, like slow pace, level 1, level 2 at most, just to kind of keep everything going. Once you start to build up the momentum, you're taking daily rest. Step 1, you're taking daily rest, get your legs up, blood comes back into the heart. Step 2, just get some healthy foods in you, dark leafy greens, dark foods, dark rices, but eat your proteins first, your fats second, and your carbohydrates last. That helps create homeostasis, which is balance. Balances your blood sugar. A lot of times, if you have adrenal fatigue, you're also working with the thyroid and blood sugar. So when you eat healthy foods and you keep it in balance, you keep that triangle nice and clear. And then what we want to do is step 3, moderate, beautiful exercises. And then don't worry, we're gonna slow you down at first, but don't worry, I'm gonna give you a program to go fast afterwards. But first we need to lay that solid foundation. So that is basically 3 simple steps. Again, I'm going to give you more throughout the book. Remember, we're only on week 2. We still have 10 weeks to go. But again, each week is going to build on to the next. After this 90 days, you're going to have a complete program to build that rocket ship to get you to the moon. So get ready for a fun, new, life-changing adventure. Now, I am Kimberly Lou. If this video helped you in any way, please press like and subscribe. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. We're going to work this out together.